Getting real about the real estate market. And last hour we showed you how Realtor.com listed Worcester as one of the top 10 hottest housing markets in the entire country. But what about the rest of the state? And will the home buying frenzy that we've seen over the last couple of years continue into 2022? Gene Hashkes is a realtor with William Raveis in Newton, and he joins us this morning. Good to see you, Gene. And by the way, another Gene.
Absolutely.
We like that. We need to have more of us out there.
Absolutely.
Market here has been bananas, of course. High prices, multiple offers, a lot of people paying in cash. Do you see this frenzy continuing now as we head into the spring here in 2022, which is always a big time for folks to list their homes?
I absolutely do, and I actually see it intensifying over the spring market over the short term. The spring market is our peak season. That's typically when you have your highest level of listings available. It's also when you have the highest level of motivated buyers looking due to a number of different factors. Typically any families that want to buy a house and move in prior to the start of the next school season. They're usually out in the spring market. And also prior to the rental cycle, you have tenants and landlords looking as well. I think interest rates are still historically low enough. They've definitely gone up significantly, actually, and it is a factor. It has made it more expensive to buy a home. But that said, the key over the last few years has been inventory and the lack thereof. And
supply and demand, basically. Has that been the biggest driver? Because as you said, inventory is low and there are more people out there looking for a home. So obviously, the bigger the demand, the shorter the supply, the higher the price is going to go. Without
question. So inventory has been the driver over the last few years, and it'll continue to be the driver in the spring market in 2022. There's extremely more demand than there is supply. Why would you pay your landlord's mortgage when you can pay your own, build your own equity, and start your financial future?
We talked about Worcester last hour being top 10 hottest market according to Realtor.com. Any other areas in the state that you would label as particularly hot?
Without question. All of our counties, all of our local counties are very hot right now. I think the reason that Worcester has been predicted to go up to such high degree is because it's a little bit more affordable than some of the suburbs and communities closer to Boston. That said, anything within 495, anything within 128, all of the local suburbs are in very high demand, specifically single-family houses.
So people who are looking to sell are probably going to do okay here again.
They're going to do great.
Let's talk specifically now, because we are entering that season. So if you want to list your house and you're going to put your house in the market this spring, what's your advice?
My advice is do it today and get a jump start on the spring market. Before inventory tends to pile up a little bit, I don't expect the inventory to be higher than the demand, but that said, you do get more supply as you get further along into the spring season. Once the weather gets a little bit warmer, it's always to the seller's benefit to not have any competition and get on the market.
And should
early.
The seller still make the same upgrades usually that you would when you're listing your house, or now is it because the market's so hot it's like, well, maybe I don't need the new carpeting, or maybe I don't need to upgrade the appliances?
Typically, I don't recommend that sellers lose market time by making any upgrades or substantial investments into their property. Minor cosmetics, painting, perhaps carpeting, depending on the seller's timeline, might be a good idea. In my opinion, staging and decluttering are the two best things that a seller can do to have their property look in its best possible light.
And for the buyer these days, it's like you have to act fast. You have to put an offer in often times over the asking price. What's your advice to people who are looking to buy?
Get a pre-approval, have that ready to go. You don't want to be calling a mortgage broker on a Sunday for your pre-approval to put in an offer when there's a deadline on Sunday evening or Monday afternoon. Be working with a realtor, do your research, make sure you're working with a realtor that's local to the area, who has a lot of expertise and can guide you through the very competitive process.
And cash offers have been, pretty prominent out there. Is that still happening, and can you buy without cash?
Well, you can certainly buy without cash, but it's the total offer package. So unfortunately, buyers are having to waive contingencies, waive mortgages,
inspections.
Waive without question, and go in significantly over asking price. The price is extremely important, but the seller and the seller's agent want to know that the deal is going to get to the finish line, that it's going to close. You have to look at every aspect, and again, who you have your pre-approval with matters as well.
So the crazy market continues. Gene Hashkes, thanks so much for your expertise.
Gene,
appreciate
pleasure.
it. Good to see you this morning.
Thank you.